Okay, one second, gentlemen. Good morning. Okay. Hope everybody's having a great morning so far. And as I promised, we're going to talk a little about tefillah today and possibly tomorrow as well. Okay, but let's see how much we can cover on the topic today. Okay. So what we're going to learn this morning is some of the pieces over here from Sharim B'Tefillah. This was written by Rabbi Shimshon Pincus, a very famous writer and speaker, and he wrote a sefer called Sharim B'Tefillah. So I'd like to share some of the ideas with him. Okay, he says like this: Aleinu Lizboni, we should think a little bit. Be'eza ofen orchol lanu haTorah et seder yomeinu. How is it that the Torah divided up our day? It says tefillah hi inyan shekol Yehudi magdish lo behechrach et zman ha'aruch beyoter. Tefillah is that activity that takes the most of our time of our day in avodas hakodesh. Because if for whatever reason being, a Jew doesn't set time for learning Gemara or Chumash, whatever it may be, on a for whatever reason for that day, but Kvar Yoetz, he certainly fulfilled that responsibility by saying Kriyat Shema in the morning, in the evening. The Gemara brings out you fulfilled that responsibility through Kriyat Shema. Even though the person certainly lost out a lot by not being able to take out other time for his learning, but he didn't violate any Torah law. He's still connected. But if a Jew does not involve himself in davening 3 times a day, he's missing. So this is an absolute proof. He says, this is air to our neshamas. This is what gives us life. V'avoda shehaneshama tluya bo. This is something that's crucial for our existence as a Jew, more so than any other activity, because this is something that Chazal have given us at least 3 times a day, which can add up to about 2 hours of our day. We're focusing in on this. And he brings down a very nice idea. Also, he says, "V'ahayasod b'zeh." Where do we see this idea further developed? Shatfila nikrish b'loshen Chazal chai shoh keneged Torah, which is called chai ha'olam. In other words, the Gemara, when it wants to compare tefillah versus learning, it says that tefillah is called chai shoh. What does that mean? Rabbi Pinkus wants to tell us. Shatfili etzem hachiyu shel ha'odam. Chai shoh means it's giving us life. It's breathing life into a Jew ba'olam hazeh in this world. V'hakesher hativ'i, and the natural connection shel ha'yudiyim hakadosh baruch hu shemakor ha'chaim, which is the source of all life. Therefore, kodemes tefillah l'Torah b'chiyuva kol yom shos rabos, and therefore tefillah comes before the learning for hours. If a person has to daven, that's his first responsibility. Even though Talmud Torah connected kulam, like it says in the Torah, nishmartem, you have to watch out for your neshama. Sheshmiras kiyum haguf hachayim, that a person has to be careful for his life, like we're learning now with the corona and everything, how a person has to watch out for his life. Before everything else, that's what the Torah insists on. And that's why you weren't even allowed to go to davening with a minyan, because that trumps everything. Even though we understand our neshama is certainly more crucial than our physical being, because that's our eternity. It says, Lo hamesim ya'alaluka. People who are dead cannot serve Hashem. And therefore everything is pushed to the side when it comes to preserving our life, which is certainly with the halachas we're learning these past months over here. The same thing he wants to say in our service to Hashem. Tefillah is our life source. Like we said, Mikol Mishmar Netzor Libcha, watch your heart, because that's where everything comes from. Now, okay. Here, continuing. B'shas Eisek HaTefillah, when someone is involved in Tefillah. Hayasod Harishon, the first thing we need to know, Lahatzlochehi, how does one want to be successful in his Tefillah? La says lazman upanai karo. You have to give it the proper time. We should understand that this idea of giving something the proper time that it deserves is not only applicable to tefillah, it's applicable in all activities in one's life. If someone is in a rush to go through it, and he's in a rush, he's pressed for time to do something. If the person doesn't have the proper time, or savlanut, or the patience, that he's involved in, there's no way that this is going to be successful, in any way whatsoever. So first thing we need to know is that whenever we want to do something, we have to know that we're prepared to give it the time that it takes. The Perek HaKodim Dibarno, he says in the Perek previously we discussed Al Hisalos B'Kisharon L'Tfila, how one can pick oneself up in his perfection of Tefillah, or B'Hishtadlo Shelo B'Zmani Tefillah, what he should do. In other words, anytime you want something to be successful, you need to prepare for it. So therefore he was giving ideas on what one should do out of the time of tefillah. But Achshav, he says, but now, Irene and Bizmani had tefillah atzma. Now I'm discussing when a person is involved in the tefillah itself. Yesh lanu choser zman, if we have a lack in time, shahoris lanu es tefillah, that destroys tefillah. Is a mekalkel lifneim ulachareim. It ruins it from before and afterwards as well. It says, Mamaharin mitchilas habrachos. We're rushing through the brachos. Ad Shmona Esrei. Kedei lahaspik lispalel im hatzibur. And as if a person walks in late to a minyan, so he has to quickly run through it so he can catch up to them, so be able to daven together with them the Shemona Esrei. Well, and at times af medalgim al chelkei hatfila. If you're not rushing through it, then you're certainly skipping around in it. Al manas lahaspik. So if you're coming in late, you are not giving yourself a proper opportunity to have the tefillah to be as successful as it can be. Being far sof boyim bisman, and even when you do come on time, mispalim at tzibur, and you do daven together with the tzibur, az hashliach tzibur kovei alanu kama yara kol davar. He's the one that sets the tone to the tefillah. If the shliach tzibur is in a rush, Moshechu acharav, it's called a tzibur, then he's going to pull the rest of the group with him. It's Zman Shmona Esrei, the time for the Shmona Esrei. Ve'echlis palal kavas lanu hasviva. We see how tefillah is being defined to us by our circumstances. He says, Einach inami, it could be true. The afshel laharak tzas, you can push it on your own. Aval nitan gvul davar, but there is a limit. Shelo laharos kamisha machapes madrigot. A person feels somewhat embarrassed to put his time into the tefillah, because then people will think, well, you're looking to be something special. Ubesofa tefillah, and then when it's after the Shemona Esrei, Maran Lot says you're running out already. Lasakim to do business, the chufim, v'chatufim, or medalgim, or you skip it. Ma'ashein nechshav chiyuv gomer. Kriyat Shmona Esrei. People just feel Kriyat Shmona Esrei, that's all that you need, and the rest of it is just optional. It's extra credit, and they just focus in on that, and then that's good enough. So you're taking tefillah and you are minimizing it. You're showing a lack of importance to all the facets of tefillah. We have to realize that each segment of the tefillah was done there deliberately. Just to give you one idea, Psuki de Zimra. So I heard a very beautiful idea just on that. What's Psuki de Zimra stand for? Smorot are branches. We think that Psuki de Zimra, I guess, Psukim that talk about the singing, Zemer, singing, song. But a deeper understanding, I think this was according to the Zohar, that was saying Psuki de Zimra, you're cutting off all the branches, all the dead branches over there. You're trying to remove all the outside sources that are going to hold back your tefillah from you. So that's what you're doing when you're doing Psuki de Zimra. You're removing all the expression of the Zohar is the klipot, all the husk, all the shell that's surrounding you that's going to prevent your tefillah. That's what you're doing, and you're cutting it away. So if you cut that out, then you still have that problem. The sof davar ein panai be'emes l'tefillah. In the real truth, there's not enough time for tefillah. Hazmana katsuv katzar. The time we have is short. V'atfila arucha, and tefillah is really is a long process. But sorach lidchos harbe bezman mua. We have to push in a lot in a very limited amount of time. Ubederach klal, and in general, ein manus. We have no alternative. Milach toch mikan umikan. We cut it off. So he says like this, a very beautiful metaphor. He says, "Benoig sheba olam." If we look in the world, im tevager etzel rofeh. If you you have an appointment with a physician, and you're going to the doctor's office. Sheinu kol kach mumcha b'miktzoah. If the physician himself is not such an expert, tira oso, you see him mitchashev b'tor ha'aroch. Someone who's not a really expert physician, what happens? Certainly in Israel, because in Israel it's socialized medicine, so the money is not such a major incentive. So he picks out the door, he picks out his office door, and he sees there's a long line waiting for him in the waiting room, right? Shebecheder hamtana, in the waiting room. Umamaherhu eitzel kol echad ligmor kedei lahaspik es kulam. So what's he going to do? He's going to cut your visit. He's going to try and get you in and out as quickly as he can in order to get through with all the people waiting in the room. So he wants to say that's a physician who's not really a mumcha, is an expert physician. Aval hamumcha, someone who's a really professional doctor, lo yitchashev b'klum. He's not looking around. He's not looking around. V'yoshevu im kol echad ve'echad. He sits with each patient. Ba'arichos u'b'shal. He's sitting there. He's calm and he's patient.
Are you okay?
As if he's the only one in the room. As if he's the only one. He's not looking around to see who else is in the room. That's not his issue. You're his patient right now, and he has to focus on you.
No, I'm not okay.
Zel siman muvhak l'mumcha gadol. He said you should know that this is an indication of an expert doctor, someone who ignores what's going on outside him and he's focusing on exclusively on the patient here and not peeking out to look into the waiting room over there. That's not the point. I'm focusing in on you right now, right? This is the big problem with all the iPhones and everything. Right? The minute you get a call, so you're talking to someone and then you tune that person off. Right? That's a big problem we have over here. We don't know how to focus in on one person. We're always going all around. So he says, if someone is truly an expert, he's just focusing in on that one person. Shekeni efshe b'shum ofen, there's no way, lahagia lahavchana nechona, there's no way that a physician could come up to a proper diagnosis. Kasher lochutzim bizman ve'in panai. If he's pressed and he's got to rush through everything, and he can't think clearly, and he has to, get come to a conclusion quickly, then there's no question he's going to come to make a mistake. So he says, "V'kain hu gam b'tefillah." So you should understand this is the same situation when it comes to davening. Shedoreshes iyun v'rikuz. Tefillah demands a focus and a concentration. We have to concentrate on what we're saying. V'ima maharin, if we're in a rush, v'lochatzim, and we're pressured, v'azman katsuv u'mugdar, I give myself, I only have 10 minutes to daven today, that's it. Efshar b'shum ofen, there's no way, l'redis la'omek hasaga, you'll never reach the depths of what you can come away with, v'kavana haruya, you'll never have proper focus. You'll never reach the level of expertise in this. You can't do such a thing. And therefore we have to know, like he's going to quote over here, very nice idea. He said, a Talmud Chacham said a very good statement, a very true statement. Someone asked the Talmud Chacham, he said, how much time should I put into a Shmona Esrei? What was his answer on Ad Shaga, until you finish. However much time you need, that's how much time you should put in. You can't say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour. Right? He says, Kama nifla hagdarazu. He says, look how awesome this definition is. Echad amarik, whether the person puts in a long time into a Shmona Esrei. Or he says it very quickly in a very short amount of time, that's irrelevant. That doesn't bother him. Aval shelo yargish, the issue is he shouldn't feel b'shum ofen shezmano katsuv. He shouldn't feel that I have a certain amount of time. The clock, he shouldn't think that the clock is ticking and I have to catch a 9 o'clock train or whatever it may be, and therefore I can only daven for 10 minutes. Because then that tefillah is not a tefillah. V'im yesh es libo, if he feels it, shirach b'tefillah, so if his heart wants to spend time in his davening, that's the way he feels more accomplished that way. B'vakasha, v'im lo, and if not, shikatzer, and it might change from day to day too. Doesn't have to be one way every single day. That's not the issue. The issue is about iker. What's the essence? Shelo yelo mafriyim mibachutz. There should be no outside disturbances that are affecting his tefillah. Bein b'shas tefillah, whether it be during the time you're davening, you can't keep looking at the clock, or bein lifnei tefillah, or before you walk into tefillah. Klal tefillah, the rule when it comes to davening is, or befrat when it comes to Shmona Esrei hu, olam malei Tzitzim uprochim, v'kol mine gavam. The world is filled with beautiful flowers all over the place. V'tzorech poshut zman lezeh. You just need what? Time. You need time to be able to look into them all. Believe zman, if you don't have time, you can't daven. That's not davening. Now again, I'm not telling a person don't daven, but he's trying to point out the quality of tefillah you're going to come away with. It's a whole different experience. If I'm walking in there with, I have to, it has to be done by a certain amount of time, then that's one experience. But if I'm walking in there, however long it takes me, that's what I'm doing. Everything else can wait. In other words, my day revolves around my tefillah. Everything else will come in its time. Then that's going to be a different experience. He said this is also pertinent to how we're relating to Hashem. Hakavod hapashut biyoter, the simplest respect that one can give, that you'll give to someone, like we were mentioning before. That's one of the biggest problems that we have in our world today, is because all these phones, we don't know how to give, we can't give the person the time of day. We're always being bombarded with so many different things, and besides being rude, you're showing a disrespect for the person. So this is the idea. We have to at least try and show that the person means something. So let me be able to focus on you for a minute or two. In elbon gadol, there's no greater embarrassment. Yoter, more than milomar ein leipnai, I have no time for you. To tell somebody I have no time for you, that is the biggest disappointment that a person can experience. If you're hoping to talk to somebody, I don't have time for you. You walk away so disappointed and disgruntled. So, right, call echad makir et hargasha. We all know that feeling, that we were hoping to be able to speak to someone, or the person to help me, and I don't have time. Very disappointing. When someone lets you in, he's rushing. He just wants to get you off as quickly as he can. He told me, because again, he's looking outside. There's so many other people out there that are waiting for him. I don't have time for you. You have no idea how terribly disappointing that, how hurtful that is to someone. Immediately, I would have been better off had you not taken me in the first place, because I'm going to walk away so much worse now than had you not, when you took me and tell me I have no time for you really. It would have been better off that had you said, I'm not able to meet you today. But if I'm sitting here, at least give me, have a little patience. The same thing is when it comes to tefillah. If we're talking to Hashem, we have no time. We don't have time. We're always busy with 50 different other things in our life. We want to go through our routines very quickly when it comes to tefillah. We'll grab a few words. I have life and refuah, When we're davening Shema Esed, we're talking about our lives, our parnosa, our health, all these different things. Right? Shalom or bracha. Choltz, we take off our tefillin and we're running off to wherever we're running to. Here's the last paragraph of the piece here today. And because there are many pressures on us, what's the best way to work on this? So we should always try to go earlier, come earlier. When, in other words, usually before your day starts, so come a little early, you should be able to put in a proper focus. If it's in 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 8, whenever it may be, come a little bit beforehand. But it'll make a big difference. Believe shir b'kol eseka in the whole davening. Like we know, if you come early and you give yourself time to do it at a proper pace, and you don't have to rush right through it. This is one of the best advices he can give for someone that is trying to work on his tefillah. And just as we say in everything, Shatchalahi hakavoa yoter mikol. The way you started out, that's the way it's going to define it throughout the whole thing. The way it begins, that's the way it's going to move right through. But just from personal experience, very often when I'm in the middle of Shemona Esrei, my mind is wandering all over the place. And so the HR just wants you, okay, finish it up already. You ruined half of it already. Just might as well just get through the rest. I tell myself, no, you took away the first half, but I'm not going to let you rob me from the second half. So he's telling me over here, just like the beginning starts it off, but even if the beginning is not as you would have wanted to, don't just write off the rest of it. That's not the way to look at it. Whatever we can take with us, we take with us. If I start out my tefillah with a feeling, sheish penai, I have time. I have plenty of time to talk to Hashem. I'm in no rush. L'snaig, I'm going to take pleasure. L'spala b'cheshek, I'm going to do it with a feeling, b'kavona, and I'm going to focus in on it. Yimshak, that focus, that feeling will go throughout the whole tefillah. But if we're going to come in late and we're going to be in a rush, even if it's a few minutes, we already started out that we're catching up, so it's going to cause that the whole tefillah will be running throughout the whole thing. So this is one of the pieces of advice that Rabbi Pincus gives us over here. Number one, to appreciate, when we're talking to Hashem, at least give Hashem, quote unquote, the time of day. Don't just tell him, I'm in a rush, I'll do you a favor, I'll say a few words. It's Hashem. We should be able to take from tefillah what the Chazal have given us and what Hashem offers us through all the tefillah, bracha and chayim and shalom. Hashem, all the brachas should be mekuyim with all of us and with all the Jews. And Hashem, have a wonderful day, everybody. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we will continue with tefillah tomorrow. Okay. Any questions?
Rabbi, I had a quick question. So when you're referring to davening,
I'm sorry, Mayor. Yeah.
You can't hear me, or you could hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, sure.
So when I find myself davening, I find myself a lot of times like the minion waiting for me. How do you not rush in those circumstances?
Well, what's that? Why you're only one of? Why are they waiting for you? You're the shliach tzibur.
Let's say right now, no, but let's say you're in a minion right now, limited to like 10 or 12 people right now.
So then you have to understand, that's an excellent question you're asking, Mayor. Excellent question. So the Gemara brings down by Rabbi Akiva that Rabbi Akiva, when they were waiting for him, he did it quickly. In other words, he didn't want the tzibur to wait for him. As we're all familiar with the term tircha de tzibura. He didn't want to cause the tzibur any unnecessary hassle. But when there was more than 10, then he would take as much time as he needed. You're right. It has to be some, in other words, it has to be realistic. In other words, you can't just slur in other words, you have to try to do your best and, you can't just like slur the words and just go skip around, because then that's not a proper tefillah. At least be able to say the words on some level of, clarity. And you're right, you're sacrificing a certain amount, but that's, if the minyan needs you and you're crucial to it, then the halacha understands that. The Gemara brings down the Rabbi Akiva would mekatzer, he would do it quick, shortly, because he knew that the minyan was waiting for him. You're right. And Be'ezrat Hashem, will have an opportunity that minyanim will be able to have more than 10 people. And you won't have that pressure anymore.
Is there one more question?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we try to have a minyan of people on our level, not being like demeaning to anyone, but if people
have a choice of 10
slower,
shuls, if you have a choice of 10 shuls, then go to the shul that you'll feel most comfortable with, of course.
Right. So there is a mile, even if you have to travel, you figure people daven slower there, they're more b'kavana.
100%. If you have a choice of shuls to go to, you pick the shul that you'll feel most comfortable in, without a doubt. For sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Rabbi, is there ever a time when, instead of davening with the tzibur, to daven by yourself, knowing that you're going to have a better tefillah there, or is it tzibur always takes precedence over an individual?
You're taking you're taking a big risk when you daven by yourself. In other words, we have a certain promise that by a tzibur, Hashem does not reject a tzibur. By ourselves, then Hashem is going to be scrutinizing myself. It's stay with the minyan. Stay with the minyan. Do your best.
Shikayach, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Okay, very
Have a
good.
good day.
Have a great day, boys. Take care. All the best. Bye. I like the background of it.